What's going on, everybody? If you're unfamiliar with my channel, my name is Jim Rochelle. I did play for 3 years at Georgia Tech. I did play football, and I'm a student athlete. I'm currently graduating this May, and there's a lot into that. You can check out the rest of the videos if you're curious about more. But as far as this video, I want to quickly and get into, what are the things that I would have looked for had I been, going back to the recruiting process and I did it over again, just knowing what I know now and seeing what I've seen, talking to all the tons of my friends who are here at Tech, who have transferred from Tech, or just tons of my friends from high school, because I played with a lot. I actually just made a video of that, but I played with a lot of talent. I played against a lot of talents growing up, and this is really for all groups. So I was a preferred walk-on myself, so this is for preferred walk-ons, or this is also for, it can either be for the 5 stars, everybody. This is for people in the transfer portal. This is for all. So yeah, I'm just going to cover the things that, knowing what I know now, how I would approach the recruiting process and everything. So the first thing I would want to do is I would want to look for somewhere with good coaching security. As far as it's a very mad and crazy world these days, with the transfer portal, NIL, and everything, to where come at the end of the season, you're not really dealing with your normal postseason recaps. It's more like contract negotiations and everything. It's a very serious world, and with this, it puts more emphasis on your coach being the one recruiting you, still being there. Because think about what I'm trying to say is, if you go to a place where you're not too sure if the coach is going to be there for the next year, and he does get fired, that really puts you in a situation. Because here's what happens: is a new coach comes in, and don't quote me on the specifics of it, but they're allowed to do a ton of roster changes. So what ends up is they'll come, and you could be a phenomenal player, but you were only there for 1 year. And so it's the supporting staff, the other coaches, they've only seen you for a freshman. You probably, a good chance you redshirt and you didn't show much. And then, so here comes this new coach who didn't really recruit you out of high school, didn't really build a bond, and doesn't really know you that well. It's a good chance that he might just say, I want to try my luck at the transfer portal, try my luck in the upcoming recruiting class of high school, and kicks you to the curb. And that's the unfortunate reality. So you want to go somewhere where it's specifically not your head coach, your position coach. Really ask your position coach if they plan to be here at the while, because it makes a world of a difference. So coach security is definitely one thing. Number 2, I would say, is going somewhere that you have a chance of playing early. So I think this is something that this is a mistake that a lot of people made, and I'm guilty of this mistake myself, is we're naturally competitive people. We naturally are just go-getters. So what you end up doing is you aspire to play somewhere where the odds aren't necessarily in your favor. So in my case, I was preferred walk-on. I chose to walk on here at Georgia Tech, fully confident that eventually I'll end up playing, and I just didn't end up playing. And it changed the trajectory of my whole college football career, and it's essentially could be the reason I'm not playing anymore. I still have 2 more years of eligibility. I'm choosing to forgo because I'm graduating. But had I went to one of the schools, because I had double-digit Division I offers. They were D1 FCS or AA, however you want to refer to it. And I chose to walk on here. And so, with that being said, had I chose to go to one of those smaller schools, the thing is, I'm not someone encouraging you to transfer, but it's still an option that you have. So if you go somewhere, the key thing in today's world is you want film, because film allows you to transfer it from, because a lot of times the player, and I know a ton of them personally, they'll come here to come to Georgia Tech, and this is not specifically Georgia Tech, but just I'm using Georgia Tech as an example, but they'll come here, they don't really play much, and then because their whole first year or 2, they don't have much film, they end up transferring. And it's hard to transfer to a school on the Power 4 level, even especially if you're trying to transfer, up a level, or trying to transfer to a bigger school. It's very hard to do when you don't have film, because these coaches are y'all got to think, it's essentially free agent. It's free agency without official contracts. So these coaches can pick almost anybody they want, and there's a ton of people who are doing the method that I just said. They're going to the small schools and having 1,000 yards. There's one of my friends who actually played in high school with, and he went to a smaller D1 AA school. had a crazy, I think he was there 2 years. He had a crazy first 2 years and ended up going to a Power 4 school. And that's something that happens a lot. You know, we had a ton of people like that at Georgia Tech. And it's something that, you know, if you are considering, you know, walking on at a Power 4 school immediately, or, you know, going somewhere to play, I would personally say going somewhere to play. And that actually brings me up to my next point, because still, I think if I had to do it again for sure, I would still have chose to come to Georgia Tech, just because that's the third point. Is go somewhere, you know, where make sure you're considering all the or the things outside of football when you are going to these schools. And I am somebody who is a huge advocate on, you know, trying to go to like somewhere where you can maximize your degree and maximize your time there, especially if you're somebody getting it paid for. But you know, I'm not saying go to an academic school, but I definitely think that the benefits of it should be explored. It's not necessarily just an academic school. Like, there are some schools who they might not have like the greatest academic part to them, but they're in a good area, so you're able to, you know, do good networking, or they just have a very deep alum system. Like, I hate to throw out specifics, but, you know, Alabama isn't known as the best academic school, but their alums and their networking and their support system and things like that do tremendous. And I don't think that, I mean, of course, especially if you're in high school watching this, you don't really think about the impact that something like that can happen, just because it is so far out of your life. But here's what you got to realize is you're going to go to these schools, and these fans, the media, all that, they're going to love you. You know, like, you're really a celebrity when you go to these schools. So you can really take advantage of this a lot by going to somewhere where, you know, it kind of allows you to set yourself up for the rest of your life. I just hate, and I want to shed way more light onto the fact that, you know, I think that we should consider way more than just football when we are making these decisions. And a lot of y'all are making a decision off of who is giving you the most money initially, but you aren't thinking about who can give you the most money, you know, when it's all said and done. Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of y'all come to college, you know, automatically thinking that you're going to the league. And I know it's a harsh reality to like kind of think, okay, what if I don't go to the league and everything, especially if you are somebody extremely good. But I mean, I just think you should have that level of security and really go somewhere where you feel like you're good. Like, and please choose your major more specifically too. Like, it's not hard, and I'm not telling you to go, because I did one of the easier majors here at Georgia Tech. I'm not telling you to go do something so difficult or super difficult just because it puts you in a good field. But I at least think that you should choose something that you're genuinely interested in. Like, don't just go to a school and choose the easiest major, the easiest default major, just because, you know, that's what the coaches are telling you everybody does to get by. Like, I think people should really go to a school to try to get a lot out of it, you know, like, because this is the decision. Like, you are in this time, especially if you're a high schooler, college is the bridge between you being a young kid, you know, under your parents' wing, under your parents, or whoever's your guidance wing, until you're literally in the adult world. So that's what you have to take this 4-year decision as, you know. Don't just go into here, because I can say, like, I was a kid coming in too, and I'm not saying like I'm super old and super wise or anything now, but I do know a lot more now than I did back then. And anyways, I was rambling about that more than I wanted to anyways. And that's something that, while we're here, I want to go ahead and take this moment. If you've made this far, please go ahead and throw a subscription. It's a free and easy way to support my channel, as I am trying to get monetized to a point where I can make money off of this. And I'm gonna be real, like, I want to get back to, you know, being a complete, transparent, authentic, genuine YouTuber. So let me know if any questions. I promise I'll respond to your comment. And just, you know, let me know anything, because I kind of want to be that transparent, authentic YouTube. Like, I don't want to be the one that's kind of hiding things. Yeah, I want to give it to y'all how I see it. So if you've enjoyed this video to this point, please subscribe. But yeah, the next point that I will bring up is, don't underestimate how homesick you can get. Because I know a lot of people who end up transferring schools strictly because, like, it's very far from home, and it's hard for their families to get to them, and it's hard for them to get to their family, as you end up going like the whole semester without coming home and everything. And I mean, I'm not throwing a shade at anybody who's doing it or anything, but I'm just saying, like, especially if you are someone who, you might not realize it, but you can tell that, like, you really enjoy your family's presence, man. Like, and hopefully everybody enjoys their family's presence, but like, y'all get what I'm saying. Like, it's something that, like, you don't really think about it until you don't have it no more. And I'm fortunate enough to where I only live about 45 minutes away from home, so I can go back at any time. And that's one of the things, like, I love it. And a lot of people are like, well, are you scared that you don't get a whole city? So I'm living in I live in Midtown Atlanta right now. Like, y'all can see the buildings back behind me. But my home is kind of in the suburbs and everything, so it feels like I'm in a completely different city. I still get like a whole different vibe. And Georgia Tech has a campus to where I feel like, I'm in college. I'm getting the whole college experience, and when I get home, it's a completely different scene. So it still feels like, I'm traveling and everything. But I personally really love, just because whenever you have to make a quick errand, whenever you want to go home real quick, like just small things. Like I had a dentist appointment the other week, and it was just very convenient not having to make a whole trip from home to college because of that, or having to set up a new dentist. You can just very conveniently go there. And I'm not saying you should be as close as me, but yeah, like I mentioned before, a ton of people go to these schools and they end up transferring just because they don't think about, not having your family with you throughout their journey and everything. Because like I just mentioned, it's a pivotal point in your life. It's a pivotal point in just everything. So I just think you should consider it more because, like I mentioned, it's very convenient to be close to home, and it's very convenient to have your family be able to come. Because, like, a lot of y'all don't think about the travel expenses too. Like, if you go somewhere where your family has no option to really drive, and they have to fly every time they want to come to a game, those travel expenses end up adding up to where, if you're getting more money going to a place, or you're saving money, whatever the deal may be, yeah, that's something to consider. So that's that. And my last one is specifically for the people who were in my position about the whole preferred walk-on route, or do I choose a scholarship? And I'm really interested to see how that goes with the whole roster limit change and all that these days. But still, a lot of people ask me, if I had to do it again, would I choose to be a preferred walk-on? And that answer can be very complex. It's very, I don't know, it's definitely pros and cons to both sides, and I'll just give y'all my perspective. I really enjoyed being able to come to Georgia Tech because I got to experience, the ACC level of things. I got to experience, or I got to get into Georgia Tech as a school, which, I wouldn't have gotten in without playing football. So that was a blessing in itself. And I don't know, it's definitely a noticeable amount of just, that extra glamour, the extra being involved. It's cool. All your games are on ESPN. All your teammates are superstars, celebrities. Being in the NCAA game, all that is convenient things. But essentially, like I said, one of the first things in the video is, if I was somebody who, because it's different from my situation, because I didn't really come to college with, football being the end goal. Like, I kind of was aware that, there was a good chance I wasn't going to the NFL, and that I would be confident, I would be okay with that happening. I wanted to set myself up in other scenarios. But I mean, I know there's a lot of you who truly, truly do love football. And if you have a deep passion for football, I can tell you now that, I'm not saying don't do it, but taking the PW out will be very frustrating. And there will be a lot of times where, you will regret it. And you kind of will just wish that you did go somewhere where you are appreciated more. Because, every coach can say how they want to treat walk-ons and everything. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And I made a whole video about this, about what they don't tell you about college football and PWO specifically. But at the end of the day, it's a business. If somebody's getting paid an X amount of money, which is for sure 6 figures, and you're actually paying to be at the program, you know what I'm saying? You're naturally, it can have all the love, all the mutual respect, everybody, unbiasedness. You're naturally going to favor somebody who is getting paid 6 figures. So, yeah, that's just something that's going to happen. And I think if you're somebody who's trying to play, I definitely think you have a better shot just getting film and then, trying to come in on an even playing field as a recruit. Then I do think about, you going to a school and trying to take the preferred walk around. Because, don't get me wrong, it happens. You see it on Instagram. It's lovely and everything. But it's a ton of preferred walk-ons who never even come close to being on scholarship that you don't see on Instagram. And I just wanted to shed some light on that and bring some genuine truth to that. So, yeah, let me know any more questions. I'm sure I'll think of a ton of things that I wish I said in this video. So that's where y'all's part is. Just shoot me questions, because I promise I want to answer it honestly. And I'm trying to answer it without sugarcoating everything. And this is something, like I said, I'm very passionate about, just because I've talked to a ton of people. I've picked up a ton of ideas, from my friends' feedbacks and their recruiting process and everything. So just delay it down. And as always, if you enjoyed it if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And be good, be blessed. Peace.